Hi. We are live or we're on.
We're back with another video.
Okay, girl, get it straight.
There you go. And today we're going to be talking about
see something, say something. Say something, see something. Say something, see something, say something.
maybe not that, but say weird people. I thought we were going to creepy vibes, weird vibes from people.
And sometimes you need to see something. Well, say something when you see that. So
look at what my mommy made, y'all.
Chocolate chip banana nut bread. And bless you, sweetie. Sweet potatoes, pilaf rice with a lot of green onions, squash and zucchini with onions and a lot of garlic because I love garlic. And what else? Oh, collard greens with bacon and onions and garlic, sauteed. Oh, with red and orange peppers. Oh, and Naomi has strawberries and cream. I don't really like that. And I have a cup of tea in my mug from my team.
And I have
a glass of water.
It's actually wine.
Yeah, okay. So Naomi brought something to my attention that this guy from her school, an adult, was doing to her. A teacher, yes, was doing to her. And I figured we should talk about it because I also experienced something maybe a month ago, and when school first started with a colleague, too, actually. And I realized that I hadn't told Naomi about it. And told her what I did about it. So you want to tell?
So there's this teacher that I see every so often, and
Alexa, stop.
And so we don't talk or anything, or I do my best to avoid him, but basically he's really creepy, and he keeps track of where I am, and I can tell because.
Can you explain really creepy though before you can tell?
He's really creepy. Like, he'll just sit there and he'll stare at me, and like I'll walk away. And you know how you can feel when someone's still looking at you? It's like that, and he'll stare. And he's either looking at my butt, he's looking at my boobs because I never wear bras ever, and it's like, they're there. And like he probably, I don't know.
Don't assume.
Don't assume what?
He probably would.
I know you're not looking at my necklace.
Okay, I get it.
So it's like, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, and I haven't said anything to him because I'm kind of scared, actually.
So, early this school year, I had to go and talk to a colleague that I usually don't talk to. I usually say hi, but I find every reason not to be in close contact with him. But I had to talk to him. I had to get some information. Actually, I was seeking a PowerPoint so I can work on this. Oh, God. So... I have like this thing where the sound of someone chewing, it does something to me. So when I heard it, I was just like, I can hear it. Whatever. Okay, so I went into his office and oh crap, I'm gonna have to back it up.
You got it, go.
I went in, yeah, and I noticed he never looked at my face the entire time. He was looking in between. He would go from my breast down my body, and he'll stare at my crotch, and then he'll do it like repeatedly. And I realized I don't even think he noticed he was doing that, and I felt icky. like instantly I wanted to leave. I'll just like abruptly ended the conversation, and I said, well, you know what, it's okay. I no longer need it. Um, and then before I tell you what I did, I have to tell you about the next person. And I just felt weird about it every like since then. And then like the next week or so, someone else, we were walking, and then when they talked to me, they were just staring at my breasts, and I was like, and I ended up saying something, dude, that's rude. And he was like, wait, what? So I was like, you're like talking to my boobs. And he was like, oh, I didn't even realize. So I was like, okay, accountability. But I noticed that when I saw him later, oh, and he apologized for it. He was like, I apologize for that. But then when I saw him later, he was walking in front, a girl, he was walking behind a student, and he was staring at her butt. Like, I looked to the side, and I was like, what the heck? You know, because we were walking opposite directions, and his eyes was like front of him. And whether he was paying attention to that or whatever, and then he looked up at me, and I was like, no, not okay. And then he was like, and later on he told me, he was like, you're mean. And I told him, he's saying kind of aggressive. So I was like, well, I said, am I mean, or do I just make you uncomfortable by pointing out things that you're not thinking about? And I was like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I am honest. If not anything, I'm very honest. And I used to ask people, do you want me to tell you the truth? Are you looking for the truth? Because I realized growing up, people like to hear, they like for you to pacify them. They want to hear the superficial BS. And I've grown out of that through life experiences. I feel like people took I never really said what I wanted to say because I was trying to protect everyone's feelings, when sometimes your feelings have to be hurt. Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable to grow. So the first guy, when I was like feeling inside, like, dang, I felt good about telling that guy what I saw and didn't really care what he thought about me. So I was like, I think I need to talk to the other guy. Like, I had prepared to talk to them. And then when I woke up the next day, I was like, nah, bruh, you ain't gonna do that. Because, excuse me, because, why are you laughing at me? Because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So I was scared. I was going to allow fear to hold me back, to keep me at a certain level. But when I saw him, I couldn't resist. I had to. I felt like it was now or never. Now I'm going to stand up for what is right, or I'm going to continuously do the same thing and allow what is not okay with me be done. So when I said, is it okay if I speak to you for a moment? And they said, yeah. And I said, ugh,
I'm sorry.
sorry. I spit in my teeth. So, and I realized while we were talking at that moment, because I was going to allow fear to stop me. Once they said sure, I was like, okay, don't say what you were going to say. But boom, he was staring at my boobs, and then boom, down to my crotch. And he just stayed in my crotch for like a few seconds and then traveled back up. So I was like, you're doing it. You're doing what I want to talk to you about. And he was just like, doing what? I think I kind of snapped him out of it. And you know, sometimes we can be thinking about something or doing something, and we have to like do something that get our brain back where we want it, our mind, like get control of your mind, like that. That's how it felt, because that's what I do to myself. But I told him, I said, you know, I noticed that you when you speak to people, because I have noticed it with other people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I notice when you speak to people, when you're talking to a person, especially women, you don't look them in their eyes. And I don't like that feeling that I get when you're doing that to me. So he was like, whoa. okay. Um, so I said, I just really felt the need to bring that to your attention. And I actually thought about something. The other guy, what made me notice something about him, he made a statement. He said, um, man, what made you say that? So I was like, boom. That what made you say that is like, what did I do? What did you notice about me that made you say that? And the other guy, he seemed like he genuinely did not know that that's what he was doing. Like, I felt like there was a difference. And I told her, she wanted to talk about this because I was going to tell her, basically break her trust by saying, you know what, let's not talk about this because it's a sketchy subject. Because she's talking about school, but I'm talking about school also. Then I said, well, that means that I have to be honest with you about some things that happened with me when I was in school. Um, so I can talk about high school, but being in high school, there was a math teacher. He would like, he would kind of show offy in ninth grade, and like he wanted the girls' attention. He would like stare into our eyes, and certain girls, some girls he would like not even really say anything to. And I noticed looking back, it was always the girls that were strong and very boisterous. But the girls that were vulnerable, he would like try to show off the basketball and all these things to us. And there was this, he wanted me to stay after class. And of course, I was like, yay, he asked me to stay after class, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason I was like that because I noticed he liked me. I could tell, I could feel it. And I didn't really like the guys at the school. So I'm like, oh snap, oh, I think he liked me, and when I stayed after school, he like wanted to rub my hand, talk about how pretty I was and things like that. And we kissed. So I'm supposed to stay after school the next day.
You kissed the math teacher?
Ew. I did. And I was supposed to stay after school the next day. Can I eat? I'm sorry. I was supposed to stay after school the next day. And I was getting ready to go to his class, and one of the girls from, like, she was an upperclassman because I was a freshman at the time. And she said, you going to Mrs. So-and-so's class? And I said, yes. She said, don't go in his class after school. She said, trust me, don't go in his class after school. And I was like, for some reason, I trusted her. I was like, okay. And I did not go. And I started treating him like I was really mad from then on. Like he's icky. And I knew what that was like. I remembered what it was like to be that 4-year-old little girl being forced to do things by people. So I remembered I didn't want to go back there. So I didn't. And I know a lot of girls, it could go either way. But I realized that I called it see something, say something, because like as parents, we would blame those fast tail little girls for things that grown men, I was about to say grown ass men, but I held it in so tight. What grown men do. And it's like, well, how is that this child's fault that an adult is taking interest in her? There's, I don't know, not enough. If that's not something you're interested in, there's not enough money in the world or pain in the world that will push you to that level if that's something you're not interested in. And I think a problem is we as adults, we pretend as if the men aren't doing it, because I'm quite sure a lot of the other men in the school, as well as women in the school, know this is going on. Naomi's school, my school, and many other schools across the country, but they will not say anything out of being uncomfortable and realizing that being comfortable just keeps you at a certain limit of growth. Um, Being uncomfortable pushes you to stand up for something other than just following the crowd, go against the grain, you know. And I've hardly ever gone with the grain. And if I did get on that track, oh my.
I know.
I'm always making gestures, like my hands are always moving, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am going to tell you.
No, you've been that.
I am going to tell you to one, meditate on this, on how do you grow from this. And who knows, you can actually be that voice that causes him to click and say, okay, this isn't right, or that's what I'm doing. Or you can be that voice that if you don't see something, if you don't say something about what you see, who knows, you can be like that guardian angel that I had at school. You know what I'm saying? So I do need you to meditate, take a deep breath, and don't allow fear to talk for you, because when you're scared, this booger, she gets scared, she be like, I need to talk to you. So
no, that's not true.
What?
That's not true. That's not true. Yeah, that's not true. No. Because
be honest. Hey, one thing about us is,
now.
Oh, now. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Like now, I don't do that no more. But I used to, definitely. But like now, if I need to go talk to somebody and I'm scared, then I'm vulnerable.
And vulnerability.
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, but once you start to meditate and learn how to totally relax on it, then you can find your voice, because it's learning how to be vulnerable without leaning all the way left or leaning all the way right.
That's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing.
What?
I'm saying then I'm vulnerable. Like I'm not.
Well, you got to finish then, because then I'm vulnerable.
I wasn't done.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. There.
Oh, my goodness. Like, it's not like I'm vulnerable. Like, but I'm open. There you go.
Can you just finish? I'm open to what?
I'm open
to the discussion, or open to being led
to the discussion.
Oh, well, you gotta say that, because when you
just
say
I didn't really
then,
know what I was saying exactly, but I knew at the same time, like
sweaty.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I scratched you. So it was like sticky. Okay, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I understand. I think we often forget that we need to speak up, even in families. Things go on within families, and ¿qué pasó?
It was that one grain of rice.
I was looking at that too. That was
funny. Like, and then you were like, I was
like, I want to get you over there with the rice. So, during the summer, or even many times, during the summer, something was going on. I'm usually pretty to myself about asking for help, as it pertains to someone talking to someone else for me, like just advocating for us as a family. And I called someone that was a trusted family member and just said, hey, this is what's going on, and I was just wondering if you can talk to this person for me, just because I'm trying to save my kid here, So they told me, I have a hard time of not mimicking people when I talk, so I'm working on that. um, they just told me, well, I don't get involved in other people's affairs. So I was like, ooh, okay, I appreciate that because I realized that no matter what chair you sit on, um, how involved you are in anything, if you lack the ability to make people accountable for their actions, that shows your limited amount of growth. And I had to be okay with that, and I had to just figure out a way on my own, realizing that, well, you can't see it my way because obviously you think this behavior is okay. So I think we should speak out more against people that display behaviors, even in families, our siblings. I know I'm quick to check my brother if I'm like, but yo, don't say that, And I want to be around people that can do the same to me. Naomi does it, and you look like what? She does it. She does it for me. She holds me accountable, and I have other people in my life that would be like, well, I see where you're going, but perspective. Oh, this lady at work this week, Miss Jackie Robinson, she made me see something from a different perspective, and I'm quite sure I made her see something from a different perspective, which helped the both of us grow. And I was afraid to have a conversation because I needed to ask her about a reaction, you know, and who has helped you?
Who's helped me?
Yeah, who holds you accountable? Like,
I mean, you for one, like with everything, but like, I mean, recently the guy from last time, what was his name? Manny. Mm-hmm. He had actually helped me like a lot for what I was thinking of him or of past things that I had thought and brought up to him, and he was just like, why would you say that? Like, that's not accurate. Or he just explained to me how he saw it, and I was like, okay, like he was right. And it made me see it from how I should have been looking at it, but I wasn't.
Oh, from a self standpoint.
From a self standpoint.
You was only thinking about that person.
Yeah.
That was awesome though.
Yeah, he really helped me.
That was awesome that it clicked in your brain that I need to think about myself more. Because even though he's the one that brought it to light, we have been saying that all along. Like, dude, wakey, wakey, sunshine.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to think of another person. I mean, Madison does too, keep me accountable.
That's good. Do you hold Madison accountable for her actions?
Sometimes. I think not as much as I should,
though. Okay. Well, in order to be a friend, you have to be able to say the hard things as well as hear the tough stuff. So that means that same love and compassion and understanding you have for yourself, you extend it to others.
It's a lot harder. Like, it's a lot easier for me to hear it from someone else. But for me to, it's a lot easier for me to hear it. Someone holding me accountable. But it's a lot harder for me to hold them accountable, depending on the person. Because it's like,
you're afraid of the outcome.
Maybe that too. But it's also just like, what if I'm just only thinking of it from one perspective?
You won't know unless you have a discussion. And hopefully that person is willing to discuss it. And if they're not, then are they meant to be around? Because not everybody was meant to stay. Some people was just meant to be
show me a couple things.
Yeah, it's a lot. Bless you, baby.
Bless you. You shut up. No, you shut up. You shut up.
Both of y'all be quiet. I was about to say something else.
Yeah, shut up.
Oh. But okay.
Did I scare you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There. I have a dream to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a weird dream last night. Why did she come looking like that?
What's wrong, Parker?
You got a headache?
Oh yeah, but my eye's swollen.
What?
My eye is swollen.
You was rubbing it.
Yeah. I mean, she does have a cold.
I think she's upset because she hasn't had a cold in 2 years, so. Ooh, not the evil eyes.
Okay, so I have a dream to tell you.
Okay.
It was really scary last night.
It was really scary last night.
I had a dream last night, and it was really scary. That's what I meant to say. And it was like the mic plugged in?
Oh no.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure this sounds like still be good.
Oh, I don't even know what I was doing. Sorry.
Wow. All right.
Oh, hey. But go ahead. You already know.
So, in the dream, there was Ted Bundy. Is that the guy? Ted Bundy or is it Ted Bundy?
Bundy.
Okay, so Ted Bundy was after me. And it was really scary because he could slow down time and stuff. And it was just weird. Like, I wasn't living with you. Oh, I had 2 dreams actually. I'm gonna tell you about both. But I wasn't living with you. I don't know who I was living with. I think I was grown. But I was living next to this white lady and her kids. They was like a not an apartment, but a townhouse. It was in a townhouse. And Ted, he could track me like everywhere I went.
Mm-hmm.
And it was scary because of the methods that he used to track me. What he would do is he would just, like, I wouldn't move far because I didn't have the money. So I would either go and spend a night somewhere with someone close to me, or I would go sleep in a hotel. But it would always be close to where I was at. I would never go too far. And so what he would do is first he took the time to get to know some of the people that I was around. And he talked to them, probably made them feel comfortable. And, when people feel comfortable, they like to talk. And so I'm guessing maybe he showed interest in me or something. And my friends were like, yeah, here's your number, and, all the other stuff or whatever. I don't know.
So your friends gave him your number?
Yes.
Your friends?
Mm-hmm. Oh. And so the lighting was and so I remember I was at my house and I can hear the lady next to me like screaming, and her and her kids are usually loud. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I didn't really think anything of it. But then they were screaming. She wasn't screaming, her kids were screaming. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't think anything of it. I was just in my bed. I think I was reading. I think I was in college actually. And I was reading or something, and I just hear a loud like thud, like bodies hitting the floor. So I was like, okay, maybe I should go check on him. because me and the lady had kind of become close a little bit. So I went over there and went to her place, and the door was already open. So I was like,
it's so creepy.
yes. I went to her place, the door was already open, and I was thinking like, this is like a movie. Should I even go in there? So I called the cops, but 911 wasn't working. Like it went straight to voicemail. I was like, 911 has a voicemail?
Wow.
And I was scared. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I might just, be overreacting. So I opened the door a little bit, and Ted Bundy was right there. And he turned around. It was like he didn't even turn around. Or maybe he did. I don't know. But he was either looking at me or he turned around and looked at me. Like he was expecting me. Like he knew I was going to be there. And it was so scary because I could see the kids on the floor dead. And there was like blood everywhere. Not everywhere, but it was on their faces. It was on their hands. And it was just scary. So then I left. And I went to go stay at my friend's house, the one that gave him my number. And so I went to her house, and she was like, yeah, you can spend the night and stuff. And for some reason, I already knew he was looking for me. I don't know why, but yeah. So I stayed at her place. She was like, yeah, you can stay. There's a room upstairs that you can sleep in. And it seemed like she was acting weird. Like, she wasn't acting weird. She just had a different vibe about her. It wasn't like her energy was, it was just different. Like, there was something off. But she wasn't showing it. So, in my mind, I was like almost dismissing it. Because what she was showing me and what I could feel was two different things. So I dismissed it, and I stayed there. I went to sleep, and then something woke me up. Like, no one was talking, nothing. There was no sound. It was completely quiet. But then after that, I stayed up, and I started reading. And I hear, like, whispering downstairs. And she doesn't live with anyone. So I was just like, who could she be talking to? And why are they here if she knows that I'm running from someone? And it was a man. And the man's voice sounded familiar because apparently I had already known him. So I was like, is that Ted?
Wait, didn't you just learn? I'm asking because you're saying Ted Bundy, but I mean, didn't you just learn about Ted Bundy or something in class?
It wasn't Ted Bundy. It was someone else, but it wasn't Ted Bundy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You said bodies in the freezer.
No, bodies weren't in the freezer. Bodies were on a mountain.
Oh, gotcha.
It wasn't Ted Bundy though.
Okay.
But I was thinking that maybe that could have been it.
Yeah, like you're mixing in that with because you did ask me about Ted Bundy. I was driving from dropping you off one day, and we were on the phone, and you said something about Ted Bundy.
Did I?
That's why I'm like, well, could you be adding that into it? But your friend, like it's almost like, your eyes open and you begin to start seeing people for who they were, regardless of who they were showing. I'm like,
I was waiting you to keep going.
Oh, I'm like, what's the delayed reaction? I don't know.
I thought you were gonna keep
I
talking.
said, and you were like, you start playing with some shit. I'm like, okay, what's happening right now? But then something else you said, and it was just so much. It's like pew out of my mind. You said something like they were waiting for you. No, don't take that blanket in the kitchen, please. I'm sorry. Natty's not feeling well, so she's like being really mean to me all morning. So I'm trying to not to be mad at her. Or for some reason I just laughed at her. I'm sorry. You're gonna delete that, right? Okay. So how do we get back to? We gotta see.
Well, we're just gonna cut this part out, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. So you're gonna cut like from that part to that part.
This is just making it more to cut.
Okay. So I was just thinking, it was almost like your eyes are starting to open and you're starting to, kind of meet who you need to meet in order to continuously grow. But I don't know about the scary part because life can be scary, especially when you're uncomfortable. When you have to do things that help you grow, and usually it's uncomfortable situations.
Can I tell you another part?
Of course.
It was actually Sebastian was in it, which was weird, but I think that it might mean something. That's what I'm telling you. So it was like Ted had came in my backyard, and
not Ted had came.
Ted had came in my backyard and through my backyard to get to me or whatever, and Sebastian left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Sebastian was with me, but he was. And so, I remember I went to another place or something, and I remember it was like a long, is it corridor or corridor, whatever.
Corridor.
Yeah, hallway.
Like corridor.
And I saw Sebastian at the end of it.
He was like stretch.
And I was like, oh my god, like there he is, like come here. And he started coming to me, but he looked, I don't know, so weird. It was sad too because like something was wrong with him.
Was he old?
No, he was like this. It was this age. But
8?
he came to me. He's not 8.
He is 8. Oh, he's 7. He's still old.
Okay, so he came to me just like this,
mm-hmm.
like this age. But something was wrong with him, like he was drugged or something. Because he came to me and his like eyes were rolling back in his head and stuff. And I don't know, but in the dream I knew that he was tracking me for okay. He was tracking you for tracking me for Ted. He was tracking me, but he was drugged. I don't know. Something was wrong with him. And then I remember
he was being
sad.
Controlled.
Yes. And I remember being sad because I was like, I trusted my dog. I don't know. But yeah, I can't really explain it.
Oh, you know what? I don't know about that part. It sounds pretty creepy, especially with Sebastian in it. But I realized what I was gonna say. Damn it! It just went out of my head. Fudge.
And popsicle sticks.
Yep. Don't know.
Okay. So
I mean, it just like popped, and I didn't want to interrupt you, so I was like, remember. But
yeah.
What?
No, nothing. It was like the crease right here.
Dang, you said something about something in the beginning.
I was the white lady.
No. You said you guys somewhat became friends. Oh, you said you was trying to call 911, and it got to call. You know how, remember I told you the other day that I almost Natty. I don't know what's going on. But you remember the other day when I told you that I almost called my dad because I really need to talk. And it's like something pulled up on my phone where I couldn't, even when I called him, I was so sad. I called him and I left a message, like a voice message. You know, I'll do that sometimes. Not a voicemail, but voice message. And And I realized he always said, I'm not always going to be here. So you have to learn how to rely on yourself when you need help, because essentially that help has to come from here. So when you said that, I'm like, you had to, you had to do it yourself. Whatever it is, you're going to have to be the one to do it on your own. So that's what I was thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking because yesterday the bus number was 2222.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was so crazy. Like, it was interesting, but it was crazy at the same time, because I remember when I was on the bus, Miss Wendy was like, do you guys have to use the bathroom? I was going to say no. But then I was like, Madison, you have to use the bathroom? She was like, yeah, sure, I'll come with you. So I went. I didn't see it on the way there. And then when I came back out, I remember being rushed. Like, Shyman was rushing us out of so we could get back on the bus. And I remember like, no, I have to wait on Celeste because Celeste was in the bathroom. And then she came out. What?
Not one word. Well.
Celeste was in the bathroom, so she came out, and we went there, and I remember like skipping, not really looking at anything. Well, I was, but in front of me.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I look over, and it's there, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Always in the right place at the right time.
Yes. And that's happening like a lot now. I'll look at the clock and see it change to 4:44.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. But it was also interesting because of the dreams that I had last night. And I haven't dreamed in a while.
But it just goes that everything and many people is telling you to spend time with yourself. Because I know, you're like, oh, I do, blah, blah, blah. I meditate in the shower. But you need to get to a point where you can be still. A tree, in order for the tree to grow, it has to be still for some time. Well, I mean, it's the truth. That's the only way. Like,
I don't know any trees.
What? They move. The wind blows the tree, but if the tree wasn't rooted into the ground properly, the wind will just pick it up and take it. Remember when I used to say, come on now, your mood can't just like blow like the wind or switch like the wind. So that's what I mean. Whatever. You just made me explain all of that. But is there anything else you'd like to say? What if someone your age is going through that exact same thing that you kind of went through at school, or some other things that you've gone through at school or at different places?
I honestly think that it depends, on the person, because I know that there are a lot of the little boys out here that I can easily tell them off, and they'll listen to me because they're scared of me. But it just depends, on the man. If it's a man, it depends. You have to really listen.
Oh, you're saying if he lacked the ability to listen and hear you, there's nothing you can say that will get him to understand.
Not even that, but it could possibly be dangerous.
That's absolutely true. Do you feel like you'll be in danger if you say something at school? Because if you do, then that's when I need to get in.
Well, I mean,
no,
I don't really know.
I'm asking because I'm not saying I want you. One, I want you. If you do ask, you ask, can I speak with you where you're around a bunch of people, for one. Two, I did tell you to talk to someone at the school, and I'll gladly send an email or come up there and talk to him with you.
I'd rather you do that.
Okay, yeah. But, as you get older, especially in the industry you want to go in, you have to have that ability to either, I know you're not going to be at school or whatever, and who knows, you may end up being at school, or but in the industry you're going to be in, you have to have that ability to say no.
Yeah, I do have that ability.
Okay.
It's
okay.
just, it's honestly just, it depends on the guy, because most of the time I'm able to be like, yeah, why are you doing that? Yeah,
Okay.
I'm right here, thanks. But
Yeah.
like with him, I feel like I don't know, he just gives me that.
Yeah, I understand wholeheartedly. I'm glad she said that. A few weeks ago we were at a game, and Natalie made a statement. She said, um, guys are weird. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, no matter how old you are, they still will try to talk to you. And I said, She said, even if you're in elementary, basically they will still try to talk to you. So I sat down, and a friend of mine, we were sitting, and I told her, I was like, I said, Natty said, because we saw something. So we was like, look at him, And I said, well, Natty said blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, she does look older than her age. So I was like, And I realized that sometimes we as women, even, we don't realize that we still have to teach our sons and the men that we're around, ask if you're unaware of a person's age, because a girl shouldn't be penalized for her biological makeup. So, and we also have to get that out of our minds, that just because someone looks a certain age, that it gives a grown man or a high schooler the right to hit on them, and or smack their butts, because it's getting bolder than it used to be. I mean, I've seen like the college people stare at the elementary girls, and it's not their fault on how they're made up. So we have to be mindful of blaming. That goes into the things that I remember happening to me, and then it's like, well, Shantae is like this, and it's like, wow. So are you saying that I deserve what I got because I was, a happy-go-lucky kid? I was just a kid, nevertheless. So we have to be mindful of what we say, and be mindful of how we're thinking, because it just perpetuates the behavior. And we have to just realize, even this happened in religious groups, in churches, at family members' homes. We have to think about who we leave our kids around, especially people that have that a certain mindset. And I'm never saying that anybody, that my friend would ever allow anything to happen to my girls, but I am saying sometimes we don't realize our belief system until it's brought to our attention. Because sometimes, because of some things we were taught, we forget that kids don't really have control over. Kids are powerless to men.
Not even that, but that's their own. That's something that they need to work on.
Absolutely. And that is something. So we just want to shed some light on some things.
It's a very serious topic today.
Yeah, but we said we wanted to be honest. Even if that meant he loves Natty.
We're holding toes.
They're like holding like toe to toe. And then the dog has his paws on both of their feet. So, but yeah, that was I've already cooked dinner, so.
Yeah, I kind of want some more.
Get it? So, I just want to show my mug that I already did, right? My bad.
In that case, I want to show my alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, it's water. But, plus she loves water. And yeah, all right. Later.
See y'all next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
With a more joyous topic, hopefully.
Whatever we're led to talk about.
We're probably gonna have to put a content warning or something.